Made it myself. She's a beaut. So I made some homemade ballistics gel. And not the first time. I've probably done it, I don't know, a half dozen times or so now. But why? Why, you might be asking? Well, because I want to test my broadheads. So I've done it before and had some videos that I've looked at. Yes, before you come at me, keyboard warriors, this is not going to accurately give you exactly what an animal's anatomy is going to represent. It's not a precise way of checking penetration on an animal. I agree. But what this does offer you is a consistent median for deployment and to look at your wound channel and to compare penetration on the same median broadhead to broadhead. That's what it's good for. So yes, while it might not be the same results that you see on an animal, it should be pretty accurate in the way of you'll know which arrow you have with which broadhead flying and penetrating best on the same median. So this gel block is actually a recycled one. The one that I'm going to have later in the video, I already shot up, did all my testing with it, and the weather kind of changed, so getting back inside here and finishing up recording kind of the stuff I didn't get to that day, but I did get all the shooting done that day when it was nice. So that's the cool part. And that's also the nice part is I reformed this. You can usually, using the right recipe, you can usually get 4 or 5 cycles out of this gelatin if you do it the right way and if you take care of it as far as how you reintroduce a little bit of rehydration, when you put it back in to melt it down, stuff like that. So if you're interested in the recipe and you want to know how I did this and how I got the original one that you'll see, drop a comment down there on if you guys really want to see a video on how to make it all and kind of how I set it up. Let me know. Put it in.
So here's the original block. It has the in-place PVC as the ribs, and then the balloon is full of red gelatin to do a mock-up heart.
So anyways, we're not exactly tied up on this today. What I really want to focus on today is what am I shooting for 2025? I've pretty much been testing all these crazy different broadheads that are out there that I can get my hands on and seeing which ones I like, which ones fly the best, all that good stuff. Everybody does the same thing. You guys all know. If you're out there doing the same thing that I am, you're getting your hands on them and you're trying them out. Or maybe you have your niche and that's just exactly what you want. Either way, we have to figure it out on our own and kind of find what tickles our fancy. So for me, the broadhead that I am taking out as a primary this year, drum roll, Sever. So this is the Sever Hybrid Titanium, and I really have enjoyed this. The arrow flight with these has been awesome. The penetration on these and the wound channel is kind of the best of both worlds. It is not the largest wound channel from the other broadheads I've tried or that I have shot in the past, but it is very consistent. I have very good reliability in the blade deployment, the way that this is built, and then the technology of how the blades operate with being able to pivot once they're locked open has been super beneficial too, from just what I've tested so far. So I've heard a lot of good things. I know a lot of guys who do love these and shoot these. So tried and true for a lot of people. I have not run them before, so I'm excited to try them. And this is their new hybrids, the titanium hybrids that I've bought and been testing out. So definitely picking up more of these before we really get into the season. But that's going to be number 1 in the old quiver. Number 2, tried and true for me. I have shot these a bunch. The Levi Morgan Edition Schweckers. So awesome design, fly better than almost anything I've ever shot. The Sever is actually kind of giving it a run for its money, but I have no complaints on arrow flight with these. Very easy. Tunability on them is awesome. Awesome wound channel and huge blades that just devastate coming out. Awesome nasty hole out the backside. Caribou that I shot, evident that it did exactly what it's supposed to do. And what's awesome about the Levi Morgan Edition is you have the option to run hunting plugs with the silicone plug or a band. I like the plugs the best. And then you can also do where you switch a screw around and you can close them up for practice if you don't have the practice ones, which this is what the practice look like. They're almost identical. They're just a non-deploying. It's just a fake blade on the inside, and it does have the deployment tabs for the blades, but there's no blade to be deployed on the inside. So these do fly as an accurate representation. Get you back in there. And you can buy all the components and replace, just like almost every other company out there. But definitely love the Schwacker. I don't think I'll ever step away from that one and continue to use that. I'll show you what the little plug looks like on how kind of like you insert and cut it and get it where it's nice and tucked away. You don't even notice that it's in there. If you have them set up for hunting, you're not going to snag it, you're not going to break it, it's not going to rot on you. It's nice and snug through the design that they have for it, so I'll show you that. Alright, so this is what these Schwackers look like, closed up. I do not have a plug in it right now or a band on it, so the blades are free to open. A little tough, just off your fingers, make sure you don't cut yourself, nothing crazy there. But that's what that full deployment will look like on these. As you can see, there's 2 holes on each of those blades that, when closed up, correspond with that top hole. But where that little channel is, that's where that band will sit. Again, even with a brand new one, I just don't like the risk of any of those bands getting caught or tweaked on something. So what they give you are these silicone hunting plugs that are almost a little tapered. It's got like the tail side. Push that bag roll through, pull it on in until it's flush on one side, and then your other side, you can just take a blade, round it across, trim it short, and boom. Now you don't see it on either side, no hangover, no overlap, no ends dangling out there, and that plug is nice and tight. I mean, you can kind of get the blades to start, but they're snug. And what this does is once that enters and hits and goes to deploy, it'll simply just cut the silicone plug on the inside. And it is enough that they will not budge or open in flight. You know, getting it in and out of your quiver, you'll be just fine. And only the pressure and that force of deployment will cut that. So that's what's nice. And then you have your center screw, that's for your blades. You can replace them, and your bottom screw that can be shifted to that top one where the silicone plug is and lock it closed for practice. So that's kind of nice. The silicone port does have threads, so that screw can go up and down on that as well. So that's the Levi Morgan Schwackers. I believe it's 269 is the number that they have associated on the packaging form. So those are awesome. Tried and true for me. And then we have the Sever, come on now, focus in here, bud. The Sever hybrids, these are titanium ferrules, and these are awesome. Again, a blade system just like any other. Have your deployment tabs up top. I don't know if you could hear, but there is a little click. These blades, they will go forward. So like they do have some articulation to them, but they do not close. They will lock in this position. Now what they will do is pivot. And that's one thing, if you've never seen Sever, you don't know about them, this is kind of like what their technology is known a good bit for, is having this ability to pivot. So if you're encountering bone or anything like that, that blade will rotate out. And obviously any dense material on one side is going to keep it pushed and kicked out. Once it encounters even force to that blade on both sides, it'll level itself kind of back out, which is cool. You do have your little bleeder blades on the top of the ferrule, which is also replaceable with the screw that they have. And then as you can see, there's your main blade screw and this bottom port. The bottom port there, they will send you an Allen key with an extra screw that you can put right in, and it's threaded into that port to lock the blades closed for your practice. Like I said, you have one little screw. Let's see if I can't do this while looking through the camera. There we go. Right on in there. Make sure it's level and even on both sides. And then you're locked and ready for some practice shots. And then you see down here this channel. Again, it's like a little black O-ring band that they use on the Severs to keep them closed. And I haven't had any issues with those. They're a little bit more of a O-ring than a rubber band. As far as other broadheads, the honorable mentions that I have actually been testing and working with, the G5T2. It has actually done really well for everything that I've shot and tested. The dead meat, probably carry 2 dead meats in the quiver, running around looking for bear this spring. The black bear I shot last year, that dead meat absolutely did phenomenal. I do really like them for the wound channel. They probably have the best wound channel as far as size and consistent hole through the animal. Alright, so like I said, this is the reused block. This is the aftermath, reformed, if you will, the recycled product of what I have shot in the video. Like I said, this is all filmed 2 days ago when I had some nicer weather. So I'll give you a quick view of what the block looks like here, and then we'll get outside and test these broadheads against each other and show you how they all do. Alright, so walk you down here. Got to turn this other camera on. Got the setup on the ballistics gel. So, like I said, I did make this gel off of a recipe that I've used a couple times. Kind of perfected it. Got it in this little nice backdrop here to kind of make it a good secondary catch with the cardboard on the backside to see how those blades open and what they do on the exit, and then some targets behind it just to catch it. But as you can see, same setup as what I showed earlier, ribs, heart, everything in there, and kind of give you a visual representation of what my choice in broadhead here is going to do. So we'll walk back to 50, shoot them, see how they do. I'm going to shoot them not necessarily in the order of my selection for the year, simply because the dead meat has such a huge cut. If I shoot that early, I don't want it to just blow everything out with large cuts and then you kind of lose visual and other stuff. The Schwacker's the same way. It's a 2-blade that's really wide, 2 inch, 2.5 inch with a slap. So I am going to shoot the Sever first because that's the go-to. So let me get this one turned on and we'll walk back. Alrighty. All right. Got the old buttercup over there cooking up some dinner, so don't mind that. But back at 50, we're going to start with, like I said, the Sever. Give her a good old college try, see how this first shot goes. Let's see, first shot, here she goes. And I couldn't have made a better one. Let's go check it out. All right, so couldn't have made a better one, so I thought. I was 1 rib off from the intercostal space for the heart. However, still a great shot. Very happy about it. Right on the money, right on the button where I was aiming. But I'll see if I can get this for you here. Blades deployed just as they should. I nicked this rib with, you can see the line there, the bleeder blade, and then you can see the O-ring is cut in half, right in the wound channel. So that's just the O-ring, obviously deploying and getting cut by the blades. And then on the back side, did catch the heart. You can see the blueness tore open. I don't see much red from the red gel that's on the inside, but it's not a huge cut there. And then full slamma-jamma on the backside coming out there. So all the way through into the back block. Could not be more happy with Sever. That is exactly why I'm going to shoot this as a primary this year. I'm actually pretty jazzed up. Once I walked back and as I was getting that arrow out, that gel's probably the best consistency I've ever made, as far as not too thick and just ridiculously tough, and not just jello where it falls apart. So I'm actually pretty pumped, and it came out a lot clearer than any of the others I've made. Moving on though, Schwacker's up next. See how this one does. See if I can't scoot over one space here and put this one through the heart. Maybe. That one looks pretty solid too. Right in the moneymaker, left, right, up and down. Only time will tell. Let's take a walk. Let's take a walk.
Now here's the thing with this. I'm simply trying to show my perspective of which broadheads I have faith in from messing around and testing and tuning and stuff. So don't come at me and beat me up about the gel part of this. This is to show the cutting ability, accuracy, and just overall trust and faith I have in my selection for the year. And this one didn't disappoint. Absolute smoke show, banging through this rib. Good height. We are now on the left side of the heart, so we're gonna get there. We're gonna smack this one. I went one rib the other way, or one intercostal space the other way, if you will. But if you've ever seen Schwacker, and you know, once I show you, that'll make sense. The way that these blades deploy, you're not going to get an immediate huge cut as it enters. The blades do have to get in, and then they deploy once they're like in the tissue. So it'll make sense once you see this in a second. But slam through this rib. I say rib, yes, it's PVC cut in half, like I showed, but they do, I think, have an excellent representation in consistency and size for ribs. So you can kind of see there, just after the rib is that full blade deployment. Those are the cutting blades for deployment as they enter. It does take the Schwacker some tissue movement before you get that massive cut. And this one did catch hard on that side. Let me try to work this camera for y'all just to give you a better. I'm short, so it's hard to see over this. But on that back side, you can see there, full blade deployment all the way after getting through the heart. And this piece of plastic I did glue, so it can't really take it out. It's there, so it does block a little bit. I apologize. But as you can see, just past the heart, full blade deployment out the back. So that thing's absolutely doing its job and bang on through the rib, just absolutely crushed. So we are rocking this right now. I'm loving it. T2, G5, T2 up next. Let's see how she does. Now, the question is, can I go in the middle from left to right or on each side of the heart? Can we sink one in the middle? That is the goal. Let's see. Might have pulled that a little high. Might be a touch high. Okay, we might have to give this a second chance. I did catch just towards the top. Try not to step in all this wet nastiness. Just towards the top. Definitely hit a rib. Still full deployment on the blade. Split all the way across the top with the blade. That's from cutting, not just from pressure or split. And solid, huge slap cut on the bottom part there after that deployed. So I'm happy with it for sure. Hit the rib. Looks like the blades were already vertical, so it more than anything pushed the rib to the side and still blew through it. We'll probably come back to that one. I think we got the dead meat next, so I'll pull this. We'll shoot the dead meat and follow up with this again, give it a second go. I'm happy with it. I'm not mad at all. I just want to give you guys a better shot and try to get it down a little bit more. All right, we will give that one a second chance here at the end. Next is the dead meat. I do like these dead meats. They leave a nasty hole. All it really comes down to is, can I make a better shot? But we will soon find that out. See if we can't finish this off strong. So I might have snuck low, but we'll have to go check. Oh, my worst fear come to life. So hit right on the cardboard, caught the OSB and kicked down. So Hopefully the arrow's good. I think it is. I can see through. It looks like it's caught in the other target and the backstop just fine. I can see one of the blades here, so might have just completely sheared one of the blades off, just slamming that OSB the way that the blade has a little lip for deployment. So I'm gonna dig this out. I have another brand new clean one. I'll have to give this a second go as well. That's operator air, nothing with the broadhead. But we'll get this swapped out and give her the good old secondary college try along with our T2. All right, so got it out. It's actually no worse the wear. The blade, since it didn't deploy the right way where it gets pushed back and then allows it to kind of change its angle, it, what am I doing here? Let me put this one away first. It was just popped out. So everything was actually fine on it. Collar and everything else still good, got it out. Tried to not to repeat that a second time and get it a little higher. But we're gonna give the T2 a second chance. And I am just gonna shoot the T2, then shoot the dead meat back to back. Hopefully I don't smack them and destroy one or the other, but let's give it a try. It's just a touch high. So that might just be the flight on that one, not as tuned as I thought. It's maybe 1.5 inches, 2 inches high. We'll see what it looks like. But dead meat, take 2, see how this does. And solid. Little higher than I would like, looks like. But that looks like it's right at the heart. Tell you what, I do this a lot, practicing. I've never actually tracked, but 50 yards back and forth. Got to be getting my steps in for sure. All right, these actually turned out better than I thought. So I had them backwards. T2, smoked heart, right towards the top, and dead meat back towards that first intercostal space we hit the first time. Looks like deflection is fine between the both of them. I don't see any major angle changes on them. Looks like they're both lined decently right there. But let's take a look at the wounds here. All right, so we got our T2 on the left, that dead meat on the right. Like I said, that dead meat's got a nasty hole. I do like them for that. You see that cut from the T2 all the way through, full deployment there. Good channel all the way through, smoking that heart right through that intercostal space. Blades were vertical again, coming in just like the first time. Now here, this dead meat did hit 2 ribs. Looks like it cut through both with no issue. Got through heart on that front side, and then right out the back, full deployment on all the blades there. You can see the lines from those channels. Pretty jazzed up, pretty happy about that. Overall looking good. And then just for reference, I mean, this thing, I have a 9-inch palm spread. This thing's all of 4 inches. So much smaller than what you'd be aiming out on any even medium size game with sheep or goat. Definitely easy enough to see that there's accuracy here on large game and some of the smaller species even. Pretty pumped. All good stuff here.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That was my testing. That's where I'm at for the spring here. Going into getting ready to chase them bears around out in the woods, up the mountains, down the valleys, wherever they pop their little faces out. So, Schwacker and Sever, that's where I'm at. The testing, as you saw, there's good results in all of them. I don't think there's any issue with any of these broadheads that I've been messing with and kind of working through. I think, you know, pick your poison. Everybody has their own thing that they really stand by and like. And for me, honestly, it's just whatever gives me the warm and fuzzy. And I feel like if I shoot it, I have good confidence that it's going where I need and it's going to do what I want. And that's where Schwacker's been my go-to for a while now. And I think Sever's kind of giving it a good run for its money to see if it can't maybe beat it out this year, depending on what lies ahead and what kind of presents itself to me. So time will tell. We will see. I'm curious. Let me know. What are you guys going to run this year? What is your favorite? Whether it's fixed or it's mechanical or it's a hybrid, whatever the case may be. I'm not against any of them. I shoot the mechanicals because I like the distance. I like what they can do, and I kind of like just that overall deployment style of a small package, open it up and giving me some lethality. But the tunability of them, I think, is what I like a lot too. So if you're a fixed guy, hey, nothing against you. Holler out, let me see. I've had some iron wills. Them bad girls be sharp. They be sharp over there from iron will. I just couldn't get them to tune as great as I would prefer, as opposed to a mechanical. So, you know, let me know. Personal preference, user preference, maybe it was operator error. I don't know. I'm not perfect, but we'll see. But like I said, if you want to see how to make one of these and kind of do it yourself at the house and give you something different than either foam or paper to shoot at and see what your setups may be doing and kind of looking like, let me know. We can jump in and make a cooking video on how to boil up some gel. So let me know. But I appreciate you. Please, please, please help me get this channel going this year, 2025, coming in hot. So, you know, gotta get a start in 2024, but we're looking to really sail our way up and through the numbers here. So if you like it, please follow along with me. Subscribe, hit that notification button, hit a like, and share this video for me. It would go a long ways. So I appreciate you. Good luck going into the spring, everybody, and we'll see you soon on the next one.